All right, here with Rootstown Rovers Blake Mullaly and Dean Abdlrasul after their 58-57 overtime win here in Ravenna. Guys, a crazy game. That first half, you guys got up by 10 points in the first quarter. They came back and tied it up at halftime. What was the talk at halftime going into that second half?
We just got to be physical. They're getting some rebounds that they shouldn't have gotten. They did in the second half too, so something we got to work on for sure. But I think that we just got to the basket and made most of our shots, which I think we struggle with sometimes. But today we finished at the rim like him. So yeah, people stepped up big time.
I think everybody just played great defense and had fun, and that's why we came out with the win.
It was a tight game that whole second half, the fourth quarter. I think you guys trailed by as much as 5, able to come back. What was a big difference there in that fourth quarter to send it to overtime?
People stepping up like this guy. I mean, I can, however many points I had, I can't do it all, or whoever's having a good night, we can't do it all by ourselves. We need people to step up, and everyone played their role and did great, and that's what happens when everyone does their role.
Everybody played very tough and strong and boxed out well and played great defense. That's why.
And Blake, you had 21 points tonight. Hit some big threes. Talk about your performance.
Yeah, I just think that I came out and I started off hot. They weren't playing very great outside defense, so I saw that if I could rip and go baseline, that it'd be wide open most of the time. And then, I mean, my other guys getting the open shots. Like when he's driving and they collapse in, if they weren't face guarding, I'll get a wide open three. So.
And then Dean, you had 15 points, 13 in that second half, 6 into overtime. Had a couple big shots there, a couple of three-point plays. Just talk about what you were able to do in that fourth quarter in overtime.
I was just taking it to the hoop, having a good time, and then just trying. Sorry. I was just trying to take it to where I play best at in the paint, and that's what I did.
Now, obviously, the season hasn't gone the way you guys have wanted to go, but can a win like this kind of give you some momentum to finish out the second half of the season?
Yeah, for sure. I think that any win could change how the season goes at this point, and you just need that one win to kick you off, and I think that we can get rolling. So, yeah, I just think we need this.
All right, congrats on the win. Appreciate it, guys.
You.
All right, here with Rootstown Coach Bobby Staudt after their 58-57 win in overtime. Coach, congrats on the win. Great game. I talked to the boys. You guys got up 10 in their first quarter, tied it up at halftime. What was the game plan going into the second half?
I mean, we just really had to. I thought second quarter offensively, we had some things that we, I guess, executed pretty well. That we thought we had some pretty good looks and just didn't capitalize either in terms of just didn't finish the shot or made a bad pass once we got something. We just had to capitalize when we got really good looks. I think we had in the second quarter. And then obviously, I mean, Ross was really good at penetrating the fish in the paint, so we just tried to keep him out of the paint. That was really the main goal coming in. I thought for the most part in the first half we did a pretty good job of that, and that kind of kept us in it, I guess, in the second quarter when things weren't going great offensively, and then we just had to keep just being where we're supposed to be. Obviously, like late, there were a lot of possessions defensively where the crowd was loud, and we had no chance of them hearing me, if anything, that I'm trying to reposition them. So they just really had to lock in and be exactly where they're supposed to be. I think as the game progressed, they kind of made sure that they were where they were supposed to be defensively in terms of where we wanted them off the ball, and that was something defensively that really helped us.
Dean Abdlrasul was huge for you guys in that second half. Hit some big shots in the fourth and the overtime. Just talk about his performance.
Yeah, I mean, we need like nights like that from him for us to be able to get to where we want to go. Really, the next 2 or 3 years. I think he's made some strides defensively. That's really been the main thing that we've been talking to him about. And I think he definitely played well enough to be on the floor defensively tonight, and he showed why we want him on the floor offensively for us. But obviously, yeah, without him, we definitely don't come away on the correct side of things. So obviously, proud of him for his growth in multiple areas.
I talked to the Dean and Blake about, you've had a tough season so far, but a win like this can kind of maybe propel you the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of forget that. I mean, we had some, obviously, probably the guys that find a way to win tonight. We had some early losses, middle of the season losses that we probably should have won, that we think in terms of how well we played. We just didn't find a way to win it at the end. That we were up a large part of the game and then didn't finish it the last few minutes. Obviously, it was the opposite tonight, that they were up 6 late in the fourth, and they were. We just kept chipping away and coming back and doing our job on both ends, and then let the chips fall where they may. But I mean, like I said before, not that, probably about 3 possessions away from being right around 500 on the year, which obviously you don't really think about. But I mean, if you really go back and look at we had 2 or 3 of the most gut-wrenching losses you could probably possibly have earlier in the year. I got to give our guys credit for their resilience in practice. There's been a lot, especially after some of those losses. The next day, I was very concerned about what our effort would be like in practice. But those I'm kind of not, after a loss, not concerned about that anymore because they've proven that they're going to come in regardless of what happened the night before and try to get better in practice. And that's why we've.
After that game, you lost your phone?
Been able to come out on top on some of these the last couple of weeks.
And that being said, what do you want to see from this group the rest of the season?
Yeah, just continue to do our job defensively and improve our offensive skill individually. I think we, like I said, there's times that we go throughout a game that we get shots offensively, and we just got to make sure in practice that we're working on it and making sure that we're able to knock those down, and defensively making sure all those guys, whether it's the bench guys, starters, are always in the right spot defensively. Obviously, we had some guys like Dean step up tonight and prove that they should be on the floor tonight.
All right, thank you. Congrats on the big win.
Appreciate it. Thank you.